and we are jumping into the last set of the group stage. It comes down to this. Liereyy guaranteed to be second place. The Viper fights for a spot in the round of 6, wants to be top 4, and we're starting it all off on Cavazan. The Viper plays Dravidians, Liereyy with Lithuanians.
2 insanely good hybrid map civs, and of course Cavazan is, you know, the definition of a hybrid map. You got a lot of land options, but you've also got those 2 lakes that are extremely important, especially in that early game. You see a lot of, you know, focus on, you know, the fish, also sniping.
No Loomville.
Ooh! Oh, he missed it!
I think he...
Oh no, he saw it, yeah.
Oh, and Mr. Quickwall, we saw it earlier.
What?
Yeah, he has to go away.
That's so strange from Liereyy. I don't think he actually saw that.
I think he did. I think he missed it multiple times.
He saw it but missed it, so just staying around. It feels like he's hovering around to protect his own Vill. I think finding Viper's Vill... Nah, he doesn't know it's there.
He missed it. And there's no good shorefish here for the Viper, so that's going to be a tricky dock position. Needs to run quite a bit there, and now finds a spot that he is happy with. And actually didn't lose a lot of time. Only 15 wood in the bank when he built it.
Oh, but this is a bit of a disaster for Viper. A small one. He had to get Loom a little bit earlier, and this normally isn't the biggest of deals, but when you're docking on the same spot as your opponents, you know, the uptime really matters. When you're going up against Lithuanians, they get the extra food. They're normally upping faster. You add on to the fact that you've got Loom now, it's not the best situation for the Viper, in my opinion, right out the gate in this early game.
And Loom, you might think, well, he would get Loom later, but it's just like 3 minutes where one villager is working more, and that's like 60 extra resources, either 60 wood, 60 food, whatever you send that villager on. Slight disadvantage.
And that's such a big deal. We see Liereyy picking up Loom now. He's 100% going to click up right after Loom and look to grush Viper. He's actually looking for Viper's Vill on the other side, but he actually, he completely missed. He saw Viper's Vill twice, but he never actually saw the villager.
Wow, that's surprising to me.
Very
and
surprising.
Liereyy, though, you said he's going to click up 100%. He was at 458 food.
Ooh.
Had to squeeze in another villager. 3 seconds idle time, not a biggie.
Yeah, so, you know, definitely did delay him a little bit more, though. Take a look at what Dravidians have to offer. Now, Lithuanians get, you know, the faster punch, faster Feudal Age, but Dravidians are stronger in that early Feudal Grush Fest because the extra 200 wood definitely helps out.
The question is, though, where are we building those docks? Is Hera thinking, is the Viper thinking, okay, this one is the point I want to contest, doubles down here? Could be the same thought process for Liereyy.
Yeah, Viper can also do a really smart move, or, you know, a tricky move. Give up this lake, go to the other lake right now. Oh, but we are seeing a barracks. Forget about the lakes. He wants maybe men-at-arms with Dravidians?
He has 0 villagers on gold right now, so is this... No.
This is strange. Spearman?
Is this a scout build?
Scout
can't be, right? Okay, now he's sending 2 villagers on gold. Makes a bit more sense. Spreads himself really thin, but gets the 200 extra wood. Can make something happen. Liereyy doubles down, and that's an unprotected villager. Viper's around.
Yeah, but there is Loom. Okay, Liereyy quick walls.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Could
safe.
have been a hill advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets nasty, especially if Viper pulls his Vill, but Liereyy plays it safe there, and he's going to be completely fine. And you know what? Ooh, as the $100 donation comes in, thank you, Moras, for the big dono there. Really appreciate that. I think I speak on behalf of everyone here. But yeah, the 2 docks, huge play from Liereyy on the water. Viper's thinking about the line a little bit more.
And he is indeed going for men-at-arms, but only with 8 on food, so we'll lose quite a bit here. Chasing that scout down to the safety of the town center. Actually, should get a volley out, but Liereyy dodges it.
Dude, this guy, look at this guy. He's gonna go a little bit heavier on the scout, you know, the scout aggression there. But that was best case scenario. Liereyy gets a lot of value from, you know, the faster Feudal Age. I don't think he scouted the barracks though, and that's the big thing. Oh, I think Viper made it further forward, actually, so Liereyy can't scout it.
Maybe that's an idea, or maybe he wanted to use that villager to get control in the center.
Possibly.
That barracks shouldn't go up Viper. Is he intentionally being out of vision? No, he will block that barracks. That means no archers anytime soon.
Yeah, this is huge. Liereyy could react in quick wall or just run home, send another Vill. Let's see what he decides to go for. He thinks it's militia, but men-at-arms is coming in 10 seconds here. Third one there as well. Liereyy has to quick wall now. You can't fight this. He's trying to rush it down. It's the wrong choice. He'll lose the Vill for sure. Quick wall's the other one, though.
But 3 men-at-arms, that could be good enough here. Will certainly pressure this area, but Viper, he's trying to poke over at the woodlines, but on point is Liereyy.
Oh my god, this map is just fireworks all the time. Take a look at Viper as well. He docked the right side lake. He completely gave up the left side. Liereyy, you know, went for the grush. There's no way you're fighting that. You abandon and go to the other side, and now Viper has the land pressure and in theory has a safe lake.
Okay, must be nice, especially because Liereyy, well, he has too many fires to put out here first, right? So he can't really send the villager around, contest this one. Also, if he wants to contest it, it would be in the direction where VIPER already has a stock, should see it instantly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, VIPER set this up really nice, so Liereyy can't play towards the lakes. So instead, what Lierey's going to go for is just focus on the land defense. Ooh, those men-at-arms are, you know, a bit scary here.
Scout around here, tries to see what's up. Still no archery range from the VIPER. Some small water fight there, not the most important thing. Liereyy finds this villager exposed. Should be a kill for Liereyy. VIPER tries to quick wall.
Oh my god, he's the best
Lord.
in the world at quick walling. What a play from VIPER. Lightning speed on that one.
Absolutely. Archery range goes up, and Liereyy, you just give him 1-2 archers and he can defend this area. Scout around here, and misses the quick wall here.
Ooh, rare slip up from Liereyy. He's usually sharp on these defenses. What can he do to save it? He could quick wall himself as well. He's going to run that Vill, quick wall the rest as well.
Saves
and he saves it. Beautiful play on defense from Liereyy. These guys are going crazy so far in this game one.
Absolutely no losses. What do we have in this dock? Double demo there. And we already have the one counter demo prepared for Liereyy. Some of those are hidden. And Liereyy, maybe a spot where some quick wall or some earlier walls could have helped out as well. Needs to run away for now, but 200 gold in the bank. Some archers will clear this up.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that if this is Arabia, Liereyy quick walls all his resources, no problem. This isn't a threat. But because it's a map like Cavazan, there's so many threats on the field that you can't just focus all your energy on the land. And that's why we're seeing some slip-ups from Liereyy here. Wow, saves another one.
Wow, absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
and arms are going down as well. And VIPER still without the archer range follow-up. Now a building at home that I can see on the minimap. And that villager, is it getting saved?
Okay.
No.
First kill from VIPER, I think. Yeah, first kill from VIPER. And keep in mind that VIPER lost his fish. So, you know, economy, slight lead for Liereyy. We can take a look at the resources collected as well. He's got 450 extra res there.
Floating quite some gold here is the VIPER. Sent 4 on gold with only some men-at-arms. Didn't really go for too many fire galleys. And, well, that's quite interesting in the sense that there's not a lot of military out on the map. Only now the VIPER, it's one skirmisher. Not a lot of threat coming.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I think it was the second Vill kill as well. He did pick up some fishing ship kills as well by the looks of things. So
I think it could have been 3 fishing ships and one
Vill as well. Yeah, so he's done pretty decent for himself here. But of course, losing that initial lake puts him a little bit behind. We're looking to an extended Feudal Age though, which is a bit strange on this map. Most players tend to rush Castle Age, but I think both players are committing a little bit more to Feudal Age this time around.
Berries are running out pretty soon for the VIPER. Looks like 150 food maybe. Oh, it tries to find another spot, but Liereyy really is splitting this one. What are those villagers doing? Not a lot of wood for proper farm setup.
Yeah, this is a bit strange from VIPER to try to dock Lierey's lake again. I don't think you should do that. Just just give it up. You know, he's got one lake, you've got your lake. If you try to fight now, you're fighting into 3 fires that are already built. I think it's a big mistake actually. He should abandon that plan.
I'm really surprised by that as well. Was maybe hoping that that Liereyy was underproducing and didn't have a lot of stuff left there. A bit sloppy on Lierey's end, and Dravidian skirmishers should clear this up even without fletching.
Yeah, Dravidian skirmishers so strong there. That being said, Lithuanian skirmishers do move faster, so more micro potential. Liereyy will take that any day of the week, but it's still a head-on-head fight. Dravidians are going to be winning there. Skirmish from both players though.
Tries to dodge a bit. Low HP ones can chase this one down. Nice one for Liereyy. And VIPER in some trouble.
Oh my god, look at this. Lierey's known for his micro here.
Uh-oh. $200 donation flying in.
And
Great
5.
show so far. Thank you so much.
Huge. Thank you so much for the big dono there. Skirmish moving forward from Liereyy here, putting more pressure onto VIPER. He's won those first small engagements. He had a couple more skirms, which really snowballs those fights. And look at the micro. Yeah, VIPER's still going for... I'm not a fan of that idea. Just abandon it, I think.
It's a bit weird for sure. And farm setup is a bit better than I feared there with the transition. Could get a deer as well. Still no market, still no second lumber camp. Eco doesn't feel that smooth here.
Yeah, and this is always the problem when you lose water real quick, is that your eco transition is not nearly as smooth as your opponents will. So even though VIPER has that lake on the right, they came in a little later, so that food count is slightly lower, but it's not the biggest deal. Interesting gate trap, but sometimes it's a little too fancy, Nili. Sometimes it's a little too fancy for me.
I think he was a bit surprised that there was a low HP villager mixed in there, and Maybe just if they went to the town center could have helped out a bit.
Fine.
He tried to make something happen, but started obviously with very low HP on that build.
Both players clicking up at virtually the same time here towards the Castle Age. We saw a little bit more of an extended Feudal, but nothing crazy. No one's going all in for Feudal Age. Liereyy set up his map quite nicely here with the walls at the top, and he's going to be switching into some cavalry. It's worth mentioning at this point as well that the relics are 2 on each side, 1 in the center, and the Lith player wants those relics. Strange dock position here.
Well, you said that he should have given up that dock anyways. Like, there's not a lot of deep fish left. Maybe we have like 1,000 food. Something you need to invest so much. You don't really want to go into War Galley upgrade here. We are both surprised that the Viper is committing this one. I wouldn't... No, even like, there's no faking around it as well. I'm surprised. Skirm fight continues, but now scouts in the queue as well.
Yeah, so that stable transition... I would be surprised if the Viper gets caught off guard by the stable transition. He should expect it from Lithuanians. He hasn't scouted it yet, so it's possible that he won't be thinking about it with all the the water action going on here. But as soon as he sees the scout, he's gonna know what's up.
Oh yeah, and well, right now Liereyy is still hiding them. Now sends 2 scouts in, full HP here. Has the hill advantage still, can chase this one down. There should be a lot of losses for the Viper, if not everything.
And look how Lierey's gonna play with the skirms. He's not gonna commit. He's gonna shoot and then dodge. Look at that.
Absolutely brilliant. Did only lose 1 single skirmisher, killed 6 skirmishers of the Viper, who is now sitting at 1 spearman, 1 skirm.
Yeah, that's not a big army, and you got skirms running at you. You've got a couple scouts mixed in as well. And now Liereyy hits Castle Age. We see Viper dropping down a stable. That's a Dravidian stable.
Elephant? Well, an elephant is still okay against 2 scouts and some skirmishers, but Liereyy wants to play into relics anyways, right?
Yeah.
So he will drop down that monastery most likely, even follows it up with the town center there. Viper, it just felt like he didn't really have a good option against this army anymore.
Yeah, look at the meta we're in here. Liereyy immediately queues Lycav. If this is 1 year ago, we're seeing 2 stable knights. In this meta, monks are very scary. And so you get the Lycav first to protect yourself against the monk play, which is, the natural reaction from Viper here. I really like that pickup.
Villagers trying to run here. Indeed, Viper goes for War Galley. Feels so weird to us going for this massive investment. I think it could work if Liereyy is sitting on like 2-3 farms at home and maybe only invested, but that's not Liereyy.
Yeah, like the lake isn't the huge part of Lierey's strategy right now. It was just the opening, and he transitioned completely to land. If Viper is really focused on that lake, at this point he can have it. I mean, I don't think Lierey's concerned about that. He's going to use the skirms running away from the elephant, getting some damage here. Finds a Vill. Huge.
Kills a villager kill with those skirmishers that basically have no business in this game doing any damage. And yeah, the elephant is chasing this down. Won't mind it too much. Trading off a bit against Lightcav. Water taken here. Gives a bit more score, but won't really give too many benefits. Yeah. Maybe it could have worked if Liereyy went for like 6-7 fish traps there already.
Yeah, exactly. Heavily committed to that water approach. But had he done that, he would have defended the lake as well. So, no matter which way you look at it, I don't know if this, this play from Viper towards that lake was the right idea. Now we see Viper's economy in complete shambles. He's got 900 gold that he can't spend with the civilization from this position.
Yeah. He also pulled all villagers away from gold, so that's not the worst thing ever. That's nice, some nice quick walls there, saving himself. It feels like a bit like game 1 Viper, where he stays in the game, gets into the rhythm, knows, okay, I still have 2 home maps. Your home maps is something that I can win as well, and gets the feel. Obviously, didn't have the longest warm-up today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no reason in a tournament to tap out early. It's not a rated game where you just want to move on with your life. This is a tournament. You've got your, you've got your 5 games, and you might as well play them as long as you need. So that's kind of my take on it. But yeah, he still has a 10 Vill lead. Maybe if Liereyy makes a few mistakes in a row, we can see some comeback. But Lierey's going forward with the Siege Workshop here.
So if you end a ladder game early, you think like, now, nice, I can continue with my life.
Yeah, and my life is to queue another one right away. That's my life, man. That's how it goes.
Let's see if we can see the snipe here. Okay, finds both monks, only loses 1 Lightcav, not too bad. Also, that scout is seeing the Siege Workshop, so nice value there.
Yeah, so Viper knows what's coming, but the question is, can he stop it? I see Liereyy picking up some monk upgrades. I saw Sanctity. Was there anything else that came in?
I didn't see anything. Oh, that monk tries to hide there, knows that the scout is around, tries to take the loop. Obviously, as you mentioned, 2 relics each side, 1 in the center, so 1 was guaranteed for Liereyy. maybe be 5 with all the map control that he has.
And the thing is, when you get 5 relics, go ahead.
Was that maybe the reason why he felt he needed to contest the pawns?
Ooh, to control
2 relics.
But surely not, though, because the monks can convert the ships anyways, right?
The range.
So without the land presence, you can't control. Like, the lakes control the relics, but only like temporarily. You need something else to deal with the monks here. We did see Viper tech light cap, so he's gonna run around try to snipe some monks. But take a look at how Lierey's playing this one. He's being patient with the push, using it to buy some time, and he's 3 TC behind it with the center control with the berries, which is not a huge thing. It's not like shorefish, but it's, you know, it's free food.
It's free food indeed. Runs out at 1 point, not the most important thing. Gets most likely a pickup there against that monk. And I think he also denied the one at the top there, so really nice moves there for sure. Viper is ahead, a solid 10 villagers here. Still, like, what's the transition? What's the army composition that Viper should aim for now?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting here is that he's taking it 1 step at a time. You can tell from his play he's doing that. He first went for the boom to stabilize the economy. Then he went for the light cap to deny the relics. He doesn't know what this game will look like in 10 minutes. He's just trying to make the correct choice right now. And the correct choice right now is to deny some relics. He killed a couple monks and he's taken a relic himself. Really smart play from the Viper here from a tricky situation.
Those skirms still alive from earlier. Does some damage. Light cap dives in from both sides. Could be maybe a double light cap kill. No, too close to the town center. And monk protection. Both Manganots survive.
Crazy engagement there. You never know what's going to happen with those Manganos. We had a great showing from Liereyy against TaToH with the Manganos, by the way. I have a newfound respect for Lierey's Manganos as a $50 donation comes in. Thank you very much. And yeah, Lierey's just crazy with those Manganos.
Yeah, nice save there for sure. Villagers at the front, not really happening. Manganots trying to find some damage. Stable goes down. Not the biggest loss for Dravidian. Viper with enough stone. Urumi Swordsman in a dream?
Okay. I mean, I think Urumi is like really not good here. Or just not good, actually. But
my follow-up question, like what scenario are they good at?
Yeah, but I mean, the castle could help stabilize, which is not bad.
But like, you're stabilizing yourself, but then you're not really getting control of the center. You're not really getting more control of gold. Not really blocking relics. Loses that. Oh, that's rough now. The Mangonel is there. Very low HP. 1 villager only being sent in. Could be converted. And that could repair the Mangonel.
Oh, Viper has to delete that. He's going to give it over to Liereyy. He's going to repair the Mangonel.
He doesn't even need to. He doesn't even need to repair, right? There's nothing coming. And Viper now in big doo-doo because that villager is moving in. No, actually runs into the town center.
Oh my god. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Nili said doo-doo, by the way. But anyways, I caught on to that one. The Magno goes down. Viper gets the castle up. And yeah, Liereyy is just going to, you know, go back home. But home is where Imperial Age is. And it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Imperial Age, super sweet. Also, like, gives him the hill, better to trap. Can go for the castle himself. That is still nicely denied. Viper now transitions into skirmishes. A bit of a repeat. Also game 1 against you, right? Where he had a tech disadvantage, still had a strong economy, teched into skirmishes, light caps, tried to make something happen. But the tech advantage of the opponent probably too big here.
Yeah, it just feels like Liereyy has such a good grip of the game here as well. He's going to drop a castle in the center, and Lightus are an extremely strong unit for the Lithuanians. I'm taking a look. I think Liereyy only has 2 relics, which I would say is one of the rare mistakes we saw from this game. He probably should have 4, and especially with Lithuanians that rely so heavily on those relics.
Well, he can still get this one. The other one got sniped. Had the monk there, 2 attempts, but now he has enough map control to maybe go for it again. Light calf, okay, can't be too unhappy with getting a kill here. Viper walls off the left-hand side, is thinking about imping as well.
Oh, nice little trap there. Doesn't get a conversion. You know, he's Viper, so he gets the quick wall, but he's not Mr. so he doesn't get the conversion. You can't have it all here. But, you know, it's going to be just 2 light cap running around and causing havoc for Viper right now.
Score, extremely misleading. 5.1k against 4.7. Main mistake, or main difference there is, obviously, Liereyy has 180 points invested there with the imp click. Viper not doing that. And now he clicks imp, and then this score might be telling a better story.
Yeah, it's very interesting as well that Liereyy never bothered dealing...
Monks.
Ooh.
One
gotta be careful there. One, both going down for sure. One just, you know, barely survives, gets into the town center. Those skirmers got so much value. It's disgusting.
13 kills on those.
Those are feudal skirmishers.
Crazy, right? And we only have Botkin. I even gives them the Medal of Honor, upgrades them to lead skirmishers.
Yes, they got upgraded the old-fashioned way. They proved themselves in war, you know?
To me, you are elite skirmishers.
Gotta love to see it. By the way, it's worth mentioning, 9 out of 10 players, they waste those skirmishers in early game. But Liereyy, he keeps them around and he promotes them later on.
Nice. Yeah, and that's such a crazy skill, right?
Yeah.
Because eventually, you're expecting that Dravidians will build something where skirms will pay off again.
Yeah.
And reaches Imperial Age, the Viper has to tap this one out. Cavazan goes in favor of Liereyy.
GG, well played. I mean, I think Viper had his chances in that early game with the Men-at-Arms. It wasn't a terrible strategy, if you ask me. But where it went wrong is probably the fact that he tried to redock. I think that he had no business even trying that. It's very strange, very strange.
Also, we made some changes to Cavazan, right? From the qualifiers to the main event. People felt like we were fighting too much for water, and therefore we reduced the amount of deep fish there. Makes it even a bit more surprising to me.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be the kind of thing that you make adaptations as the tournament goes on. It's very possible that, he thought this would be the right approach. Now he tried it out, didn't work, and he'll adapt the next time he's on it. But anyways, that's game 1 to Liereyy. We move on to Viper's home map here, and he's got a couple options. He's got Fortified Clearing, and his other home map is, Golden Lakes. So, pretty solid choices. Those are 2 maps I favor Viper over Liereyy on, in theory.
Is there a world in which the Viper thinks, wow, I have some good strategies prepared for my home maps, that he goes for Lierey's home maps first to hide some strategies if he gets into a worse bracket spot?
Yeah, that's interesting. You play Lierey's home maps. If you lose, you don't have to worry about showing your strats. If you win, then...
And if you want to win the set, at one point you have to take one of Lierey's home maps.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's crazy to pick Arabia here.
Yeah, I really agree with that line of thinking, and if Viper goes for that, then fair play as well. And to be honest, Arabia and Feudal Lake, I mean, taking a look at the civs, Viper's got Chinese for Arabia, he's got Hindustani for Arabia as well. And, those are 2 pretty solid civilizations overall. I just question what civilization he's playing on Feudal Lake, to be honest. Malay?
Is it Malay?
But are you
We also have seen Hindustanis played quite a bit.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, maybe Hindustani. I think for Liereyy, Khmer for Feudal Lake, Italians can be nice. Let's see what they decide to play. It's going to be Fortified Clearing. Viper's taking it to his home map. He wants to lock down a win. And, Liereyy with the Burmese, quite a solid pick. It's going to be Turks versus Burmese here. Which civilization do you favor on this map?
I'm a big Turks fan. Okay. Also, I know that you like them as well. Let's discuss options here. Turks, obviously, in a scenario where we already start with Stonewalls at the front, love to get to their Janissaries. Arguably one of the most efficient units in Castle Age. Yep. Crazy range, crazy damage output. But you need the castle to produce them. Thank you for founding NAC. Well, thank you for contributing to it. And also, if we go to gunpowder, we have better bombard cannons there as well. Chemistry free. So if we have some trap wars there in the center, we have the advantage getting to those bombard cannons a bit faster. Plus, sometimes we play low economy and then saving upgrades like Light Cav and Hassa.
Yeah.
Comes in quite handy.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, we do see the Burmese taking a look at what they have available. I think the Burmese have the strength of the better economy versus Turks. But as you said, Turks don't need the most amount of economy to get to some of their power units. Burmese, they've got the free wood upgrades, which makes their economy extremely smooth. And then they also have really solid options when it comes to like monks and their cheaper techs. They've got good cavalry. They've got their Rambai, also an efficient, unique unit there as well.
Yeah, the question though, Rambai, how well they will perform against the Janissaries, need to close on the distance. Once they're there, they're shrekking. Yeah. But Viper, I think he could be too active, trying to keep those Rambai at distance. Maybe let's take a look at the map, because we can go on the outside and attack the opponent not only through the inside. And a big difference to the original map from T90's Titans League, you cannot wall on the stone area. How does that change the approach on this map?
Yeah, I actually love that change because...
It was your suggestion.
That's why I love it. Because I love that you listened, or people listened, because it makes the map a lot more dynamic and a lot more of the nature of Fortified Clearing. Because what happened before is people would wall off the side. It's like, okay, let's play arena. But that's not what the map should be. It should be the side action. It should be the raids, should be that excitement late game. And we also saw a few strategies in early game. Because you can't walk to the side, people are going men-at-arms towers, and people are doing all kinds of funky stuff in that early game.
So you won the qualifier against Jordan, for example, was a really nice move. We have seen tower rushes here as well. Also, special is the amount of relics here. 5 in the center, 4 on the outside. Liereyy will see all of them from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's actually a huge bonus for Burmese, especially on this map, because the side relics spawn in weird ways. They can be kind of anywhere. The middle ones are a little bit more controlled as to where they can be, but having Burmese just locks down. You know where the relics are. You know which ones are taken, which ones you can go for. It's super smooth to play.
And it's a double bonus. If we go to the POV of Liereyy, he obviously knows where the relics are, and by elimination, he knows where the opponent has to be, right? Because there's a minimum distance towards the relic, so he sees, okay, no relics there, that's where your town set is, and sometimes the distance can be super short.
Yep, and this is a huge advantage, because now Liereyy can lure deer completely freely. He knows where Viper is, he knows, roughly what to expect, but actually Viper's mixing things up here. He's going 19 pop up. He wants to play scouts with Turks. Is that a thing?
He doesn't have the barracks. I think he's doing threatening and eco upgrades behind it.
Eco upgrades, threatening. You kind of gain control with the extra speed on the scout, the extra to attack. Liereyy concedes that deer, just takes it near the mill. Fair play.
And this is brilliant for Viper. Oh, Liereyy even goes away. What?
How does Liereyy know? Did he see the click, or is he just playing safe? That's crazy. And
Boink.
Oh.
Boink.
Okay. Let's see what Viper has to show. Okay, this is crazy.
Wow.
Really
14
nice play.
HP advantage. Yep. And this will force Liereyy also into massive walls. Now doesn't know what's up, right? Sends some on gold, tries to wall this one up, and Viper, as we can see, double eco upgrade. Mind games.
Yep, complete mind game there. And now it's not so simple for Liereyy to just move out with the scout and see where Viper's going, because if Liereyy moves out, which he's actually trying to, Viper, if he reads this, he can actually chase that scout and kill it. So let's see what Viper goes for. It does feel like Liereyy kind of wheels his way out of that one.
Yeah, still walling with 4 villagers, right? Slows him down a bit. Viper, he sees what's coming, can kind of count farms as well, can see if you're going for a Monk Rush, whatever, while Liereyy, what is he guessing right now? He still sees nothing? But will he accept that you went up pop 19 to not build army?
Yeah, I mean, I have a small criticism for Liereyy. I think he's rushing the walls a little bit too much. The reason is, 19 pop with Turks, you can't afford a whole lot. So the threats are very minimal, and you're probably thinking it's scouts. And if it's scouts, you don't need to full wall. You can just wall a little bit your resources and kind of small wall to your town center. And so I think he's overreacting a little bit. If he had, all the time in the world and to ration it out, like we the casters can, you can kind of come to the conclusion that there's not that much coming from Viper, and it's most likely a bait.
Maybe he doesn't know the map that well. Right?
It's very possible. It's his first time on a fortified clearing. It's okay. We practiced it 100 times. Trust me on that one, guys. It's our favorite map,
Did you anticipate that you will have to play it a lot?
I think he expected to play a little bit more than this being his first. But, there's the other arena map that catches him off guard as well, maybe.
Scout now can obviously get this one. Had the better trade earlier, but Liereyy can escape most likely. Thing is, though, better castle age timing guaranteed for Liereyy and Viper. Then maybe build some scouts on the way. Even though his own villagers blocking him, chasing down the scout.
Now here's the thing, right? Like you go for the mind game, but at a certain point, your opponent's not going to delete his TC because you're up to it's not going to be that much damage, from
that's what
the
you
mind
did against T90.
It did
mind
happen.
games.
It did happen. Yeah, that's true. T90 top tier caster and player, it seems. But the thing is, when it comes to these mind games, is that sometimes it damages you more than your opponent here, and I think we have a case of that happening. Liereyy with the faster castle will mean that he's going to add town centers or do whatever he wants a little earlier than Viper.
Because let's think about it. Like, what did Liereyy do now that he didn't want to do? He built some walls, maybe minus 60 wood, maybe minus 80 wood. Walled with 5 villages, maybe could have been another 50 to 100 resources. Let's say he invested 200 more wood resources than he wanted to. But Viper, that was multiple minutes where he had fewer villagers that couldn't really get the resources. He's still behind in castle age timing.
It's pros and cons, and it feels like there's more pros towards Lierey's side right now. I have to agree with you on that. And if you take a look at the rest collected, which just went to 0 for some reason, but it's back, we see that Viper has slightly more, but it's going to shift real quick if Liereyy starts adding in a town center. And it's not necessarily a town center you have to go. You could go for. I mean, you could, but you could also just go for some monks. Oh, brilliant trap there from Liereyy.
Blocks that one quite nicely. Now even opens the palisade here, and Viper gives it up.
Yep.
Wow.
crazy stuff. And I think Lierey's going to chase this one all the way back, and Viper's not walled.
And Viper gets slower once he reaches Castle Age.
Which is actually worth mentioning here. The Lycav upgrade can be a problem here in some certain cases here. But yeah, I mean, what's interesting is that Viper went market and stable. So he's going to go for Lycav. It's just a delayed approach, which, you know, fair enough. But yeah, Lierey's going to just chase this one all the way back, and Viper's starting to wall to protect himself.
Both players now sending one scout in the center there. Viper tries to avoid that fight. Just they kissed and went into different directions because knowing, okay, Lightcav might be around the corner. Liereyy now adding some spearmen as well. Viper, oh, players got so good at anticipating the spearmen there.
It's crazy. I mean, Liereyy is like 100% always looking at his army, but then also managing his economy. It's like, it's crazy to you know, realize the amount of army management this guy has.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Let's maybe take a look at the POV of him here while he takes that fight for maybe a bit too long. Maybe he's trying to avoid the fight at the left-hand side. He's using both groups, tries to go in with the spearman, slightly house behind it, queues up some more houses here. What should be his prioritization?
Yeah, he did pick up the Lycav upgrade here as well, and he's going to try to pick up as many relics as possible, simultaneously raiding the Viper as well. And Viper, he's a little exposed to this. He just hits Castle Age. Liereyy pulls back the low HP scout there to protect it a little bit.
Oh, and he is trying to quick wall behind this one. Can he save all his villagers? Seems like no is the answer for now. Lost one villager, now another one in danger. Saves her at least.
Oh, and interesting from Liereyy to not go for that Vill, but instead go for the scout. I think that was a bit of a misplay. Should have probably, you know, committed to that villager, because those scouts can heal once a monk hits the field. But take a look at that. Viper immediately drops 2 town centers.
And the monastery. So quite some stuff here on the map. Tried to manage this one quite nicely. And as you can see, low HP scouts being sent home next to the monastery as well.
Yeah. You know, it's... I think all things considered, that wasn't too bad for Viper. He's going to heal up his Lycav. He only lost 1 Vill. And, you know, Liereyy might get a couple more relics, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. So, not the most solid strat from Viper, but he made it, you know, he made it past that early game, and now it's a bit more stable.
Also, now Liereyy obviously had the whole time the wood upgrade, so collect some more resources. Viper tries to catch up in this regard. Where do you send your Lightcav now? Is it fully in the center, or do you try to fight in the center and on the outside?
I think people have great blocks from the Viper. He's gonna go ahead and pick up that scout. Did lose one on the bottom. I think players have different approaches altogether. Some people like to commit heavily to either the outside or the middle, and others like to mix it up. I don't really have the the secret recipe. I think you just go for whatever feels natural in the moment.
Okay, 2 relics for Liereyy guaranteed. Still 3 in the middle to be grabbed, 3 at the top, 1 at the bottom. And Viper wants to get his fair share there as well. And
oh my
those farms
god, it's just so high level. Liereyy goes for the farm snipes. Viper reads it, backs up, and
villager!
Oh my god, that was
there.
Crazy. Liereyy with the block right next to the town center, 1 Vill down. Meanwhile, managing the middle of the map as well.
Crazy moves here. Viper, he can't really keep his TCs running, right? As you can see, either TC will skyrocket quite a bit. Monk even in a bit of danger here. Only 51 food.
Liereyy, does he commit to this one? He sees the Monk, he decides to go back. I think he could have committed there, but he probably would have got converted, so he plays it safe instead. Well, could have been an option where a more aggressive player could have committed. Viper certainly likes to get a kill here. Goes back, goes for some healing, and now we see HP upgrade for the monks. Liereyy. And I actually love this. Husbandry is one of the most important upgrades in a Lycav v Lycav fight. And the fact that Liereyy is able to afford it, because he delayed that 3rd town center, might be the difference between 2 or 3 extra relics compared to the Viper, who opted to go for that super greedy 3 TC boom. But to be honest, 3 minutes out of TC time, I don't think the greed paid off even.
Where's the 5th relic in the center? Is that still at the top there? Or does someone have that in their hand?
I think all the relics are gone in the center. Someone has got it in the hands, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the Viper. Yeah,
okay.
Just sitting there chilling with the relic. Monk, a little bit greedy there, keeping the relic in his hand. And yeah, I mean, not too bad from the Viper. Also picks up a Lycav. Does Viper have husbandry, by the way? I think he does.
Seems like the same speed to me, 165 versus 165.
Okay. So apologies earlier, he was able to afford it with the boom behind it. Might be the reason he's got the idle time, but like I said, it's a key upgrade anyways.
So it makes lots of sense. I think the 30C was a bit of a setup there. He knew he couldn't really produce out of it, but had the natural resorting wood, floating wood.
Yeah, Viper has 7 scouts in the center. think he's in the wrong spot, but the $60.30 coming in is in the right spot. Goes straight to the price pool. Thank you very much. 7 scouts in the middle. I mean, all the relics are gone. Maybe he doesn't know that, but I think it's going to slow down his momentum to going on the outside.
Well, he's sending one light cav here. A bit surprising indeed. VIPER, obviously, the scout was on the outside early on, so maybe didn't have enough vision there for the center.
Yeah, very possible as well. Liereyy now going to fight for those relics on the side. It's 3-2 in the center in terms of relics, and there is still 2 more relics on either side from what I can see.
2 at the top, and 1 is getting yoinked away. I think Liereyy already got one from the top, and I think there's only 1 at the bottom. No, VIPER gets one from the top.
Yoinked the one from the top.
So 3-3 split for now, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Poor Monk.
He had a whole army of light cav, and he still died. That's crazy.
Not well in protecting, currently.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Seems like Liereyy gets that. And it just feels like this game will not be decided by the amount of relics that one player has.
Which I like, actually. I think when it comes to like 9-0 or 8-1 on the relics, I think the game drastically changes to a bit more of a stally, setup. But when it's, pretty even, 4-5 or something like that, we tend to see fireworks in the mid game, and this map can really deliver here. It's interesting because Liereyy, he seems to be taking a position in the center of the map now. Is he planning some sort of late castle push here? Which
shouldn't really work against a player that has 700 stone in the bank already. Those light cav are committing. That looks a bit interesting. Gets 2 kills. Now some conversions from him behind this. Seems like every single monk should die here. That was really good for the VIPER.
Amazing trade there. 500 gold down. He's going to go for the castle there. Maybe he could have went forward.
I think so as well.
He could have went forward with that castle.
He just he knows that the light cav are running away here. He can maybe add like 2 scouts. Also, he's idling the TC. He wants to make sure to go in. Maybe he thought, okay, I'm not reproducing. I go with a more passive one first.
That's questionable. It's a little too safe for my taste. Sometimes a little bit of risk can heavily reward you. Forward castle with the fast tip would be absolutely devastating. The castle at home is solid, but just not as forcing. It looks like Liereyy's going to go ahead and pick up some VIPER light cav. A little bit late on the reaction there from VIPER, but maybe focus on other things like clicking up to Imperial Age.
It really hurt there, right? Because if you're on, Imperial Age, you upgrade to Hussar, so could have been really nice as well.
Yeah.
And Gunther Scherk, thank you as well for all your support. So many people, right? I know that we also, to not float this one, set the donation limit at $20. I see you, I respect you, I appreciate you. We just want to keep it a bit clean here as well. And thank you all for your support, no matter the amount.
All right, looks like it's going to be just a little bit of light cav cleanup on the outside from Liereyy. There's still that one sneaky relic up top, but looks like both players are happy with the relic situation and just focusing on the next transition, which is getting up to Imperial Age and fighting for the center or just developing into that early Imperial Age state. I see VIPER adding a stable. This could be Hussar, could be Camel. He's also mixing in a couple of Janissaries. He can take this in a couple directions, I think.
I wouldn't mind 40C here. Because, are more light cav achieving anything? Like, are you killing the monks? Isn't Janissary just, such an easy unit for you to go for now?
Well, the thing is...
Oh, monks out of position. Light cav will dive.
Oh, this could be bad. VIPER doesn't want to fight here. He's got a minute to go for Imperial Age, but he's going to go ahead and trade against Liereyy's monks.
Allows himself to trade. This one off. Janissaries are dying as well. Completely caught with his pants down. And, well, look at that. He is now buying himself another castle. Will be good for his trap war, but he lost a lot of momentum.
Yeah, that's a bit sloppy here because, you're a minute from Imperial Age. Your entire strategy is riding on you getting Imperial Age and you defending your siege. And the fact that he lost a lot of his military gives Liereyy that window to snipe some siege. VIPER's going to have to commit way more into army than he probably wanted to. He wanted to invest into siege. Now he's got to remake those units.
Oh, I think I want to see Liereyy clicking here. I think this could be Liereyy. Is he trying to send those monks and... Okay, he just converts the Janissaries. I thought he was going wild and tries to delay this one.
He is going to go wild indeed. He's got the monks there.
Tries to go for the palisade, and now he's clicking. He's clicking like a madman, and he breaks the walls. Liereyy's in!
Oh, he's going to get some kills here. The castle, I think VIPER rewalled. Beautiful play from VIPER. Rewalls, and he's going to get the castle up. Listen, it's still good. Liereyy delays it. He kills a couple of villagers. You can't be too upset about that, but the faster Imp is in, what is VIPER going for here?
He is going for Siege Workshop, wants to add some bombard cannons. I think this is the spot where you build 2 traps, kill the castle, and boom behind. Because I don't really see him advancing too much, right? There's so many monks out. Monks will convert your bombard cannons. You can't really afford a 3rd and 4th castle to push in further. So I think booming, but I think looking at 14 villagers on stone. VIPER has different plans.
Yeah, you know, the booming is a completely fine approach here. Might even be the right approach. We'll see how the push turns out here, and that's, of course, something that you backtrack after the game. But VIPER's committed to the push, and he needs to go 100% in on this one because he needs to do damage, or else Liereyy, with, you know, Liereyy adding the 4 TC, having the 10 extra vills, will scale better into that late imp.
Lierey's army composition is going to be Halberdier Hussar here, which is quite interesting. Obviously,
Halb Monk mainly. I think the light cav is just a little bit to snipe siege. I think Halb and Monk is going to be the comp.
But he has 14 on the field and is committing to more armor upgrades, right? It feels a bit weird, but yeah, should be fine against bombard cannons here, I believe. Castle guaranteed to go down, and that's what we want to see, more Hussars in action.
Yeah, so it's going to be Theocracy, block printing coming in now from Liereyy. VIPER actually goes to the 4th Talent Center. I mean, he's going to go for the push into the boom approach, but invested a little bit more to the push. That's fair enough. That makes sense to me. And now Liereyy has to find a way to deal with the Hussars, but also focus on VIPER siege in the center, and it gets tricky from here.
VIPER buys himself some food. Also could have been a spot where he could have bought himself 200 stone to go for a wild castle there once he kills the castle of Liereyy, who doesn't have the greatest answers right now. 13 light cav, 4 pikemen. This is quick vault as well. Don't really see him doing too much.
Why is Liereyy committing to the armor upgrade on the cav before Halberdier? It's a little strange to me because, you know, the armor is not that important versus Janissaries. It's good to dive into siege, you know, under castles and stuff. Thanks for the $30 tip there. But I don't know. I think Halberdier first makes sense, but it looks like Lierey's going to go for the raids earlier. VIPER's on point, though.
Yeah, but this is still open, right? Hussars are around, villagers still could be idled. And as you can see, 11 idle villagers for the VIPER now, and more force. Chemistry is obviously helping out, but only as fletching. Now upgrades to botkin.
Yeah, VIPER, he's probably the guy who pioneered getting those upgrades just for your structures, for those town centers, for the castles. He's not making any units that benefit from botkin arrow, but he's still picking it up to help defend those raids. Woodland was open though, so Light Cav maybe getting some raids, but now it's all about the center. Monks on the cannon action. Let's take a look here.
Okay, Hussars now defending this one, yeah, but some raids there at the top. VIPER still some TCs running, will get to reasonable numbers, but farm count shockingly low.
Yeah, this is a very strange game here. It feels like both players have win conditions, but it might just come down to execution. VIPER has a harder game to play though, because he's got to stabilize versus the raids, and he's got a push in the center that's very slow. And look at Liereyy taking advantage of the, of those raids, of that mobility.
Yeah, and there's simply no Janissaries right now that could maybe punish those light cap, could maybe punish those traps, and now even those monks getting quite some support for those Hussars. And that forward castle, VIPER doesn't really have the great answer. Look at all the floating resources. This could have been like 3 more bombard cannons for him already.
But it's such a hard game for him to play. Like, he can't focus on the push when you're getting raided. So the question is, should he have boomed after all? If you committed to that push, maybe just focus a little bit more in that center. But we talked about how VIPER doesn't put all his eggs into one basket. Tried to do a little too much and got punished slightly. It's not like he's completely dead, but, you know, it's kind of looking better for Liereyy right now. Oh, sneaky with the Jans.
Janissary raid from the outside. Typically not really something we see, because Janissary is obviously on foot, so can't walk too fast, but nothing there to defend it. The castle that Liereyy built defensively is in the other direction.
Yeah, the Janissary raid is actually not something I hate. Initially, it looks a little strange, but the more I think of it, the more I kind of like it. You're going to throw a unit that is going to be tricky for Liereyy to deal with, and you can just let that disturb Liereyy while you focus a bit more on the center. Monks, what are they converting? 1 villager.
Okay.
A single villager. Now the next one.
Outranging the castle there. Love the tournament, love Hera.
Love you, my man.
Could have been roughly $25 for you if you win the tournament.
Wow, I love him even more now. Thank you very much for the donation to the prize pool. Hussars on monk action though. Let's see how Liereyy can convert here.
Some of those fights are uphill. Seems like every single monk could die. This has to be pretty nice for the VIPER. He kills those monks, and that makes his bombard cannon so much better.
Oh, this is crazy. Liereyy, he went for pikemen and didn't commit to it. Why would you go for pikemen and not commit to infantry to defend your monks? It seems so natural, and now he got punished. Great pickup from VIPER as he raised on the side as well.
And he realizes now techs into halberdiers himself, and those traps, they are really well protected now with the castle, because Liereyy only sits at very small military numbers. Kind of wild that we're 35 minutes into the game and both fewer than 30 military units.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the thing is, they've got small amounts of military spread out as well, so it looks even less. But their tech and their siege is so powerful that this can snowball out of control, even with the fewest of units.
I think Liereyy now also going for 5TC. Viper already has that. Those Janissaries, 7 kills already, now making it 8.
Paid
Pretty
off.
nice, and yeah, pushing this one away. Liereyy now even struggling a bit with the wood amount.
Yeah, I mean, the Halberdier just came in way too late. It's in now. He's going to try to defend his Trebs. Ooh, in comes $250 as well. Crazy donation. This is why the AV2 community is just so solid. It's the fans fueling it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Brawler, one of the craziest supporters over all channel. Love so much there. But the conversion here, lots of love for conversions, apparently from Liereyy as well. Bombard cannon getting pushed back, and all of a sudden, without bombard cannons, Viper, he has to disengage here. Weird amount of stone there, with only 3 on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of stabilizing, but because there's been so many raids, the population isn't that high right now. We are seeing Liereyy trying to expand towards that top. He's got TC in the north, and the middle push is looking a little bit more solid for Liereyy now.
What?
Oh my god.
5 traps?
This is crazy.
Viper will have no idea that this is coming. He has 3 traps himself, can maybe go for bombard cannons, but obviously conversions could be coming in. And that Siege Workshop actually blocking the maneuverability of those traps. I think he needs to lead his own storm.
1,000 gold from Viper invested into Heresy, but that is a powerful upgrade. When it kicks in, the converted units will die and not switch to Lierey's side. Huge counter to the monks, but is the monks the main issue? Or is it the Halbs and Trebs at this point?
Well, he wants to keep that castle alive. Obviously more stone behind this, even the town center there. Now dives in against the monks again, but now this time we have enough halberdiers for the protection. Janissaries dove in and out, and he's trying to kill those halberdiers, but I think all his hussars are dying.
Oh my god, the Halberdiers are melting the Hussars. It's a bit of Treb on Treb action, bit of an RNG situation there. It's going to be more Trebs for Liereyy, but Viper may be landing the luckier shots. It's questionable still.
Uh-oh, and those Janissary numbers basically non-existent now. He sits at 5, only now Brace, so the castle is now helping out a bit more. Traps really low HP, but Viper, he doesn't really have the answer. Only bombard cannon now out, but those traps can still... those monks can still get conversions. Yeah,
and the Trebs from Liereyy are alive. Viper only has 1 left. Has to land some lucky shots, but Liereyy is now repairing. The Trebs are all down from the Viper. There's 4 Trebs on his castle, and that's the last castle he's got at the front. There's nothing protecting his base, his villagers, and his production buildings.
How is he not repairing this? He just gives it up, sees, okay, against 4 traps, I will never save this one anyways. Bombard cannon not even pumping out. Okay, barely squeezes out before the Siege Workshop goes down.
But does it matter? How do you stop Halberdier and Lycav right now? CA. The composition from Liereyy was so good, and you're mentioning CA, he's going for that. That is a very long transition. He didn't set that up from earlier, and there's already a few monks on the field. So Cavalry's are going to be strong, but do you get there?
Heavy CA, obviously very costly, 900 food, 500 gold, so he can technically get there. Would love to get extra HP upgrades from his castle as well. We are far, far away from that. But if we get to 20-25 heavy CA, I think Liereyy needs to think about a tech switch.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where you have to respect it once they get massed. We see some Lycavs running in, looking for those raids. Viper responds with a castle at home, and he's also going to chase them with Hussars of his own. Monks, Halberdier, that slow push sitting on top of those Trebs, and those are 4 Trebs. They're going to eat through buildings.
Yeah, and there's one really important building. The one that fuels the CA production, basically. Yep. The monastery, 4 relics inside there will be really, really tricky for Viper to keep up his production, -4 relics.
Dude, Viper, he didn't expand. He's got no gold. The relics are his gold.
Yeah, kind of, right? No expansion here. He has 1 at the left-hand side. Had to move away from the front as well. Going to be really tricky. And Halberdiers, once they close down the distance, they are just wrecking CA as well. Yep. Now, Army moves back. Bombard cannon in the same group. Therefore, the CA and the Hussars a bit slower.
And this is crazy because Liereyy, he can patrol the Halbs. He can patrol the Lycav, and he can look away. Viper's got to stare at his army, make sure his units don't die, whereas Liereyy can have that freedom to look at, a bit more of the macro situation. But there's Hussars diving into the monks. They have Heresy as well. This is a big cleanup on the monks.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh,
yep,
and maybe it paid off. I thought, okay, maybe skipping Heresy and going for like 13, 14 extra CA could have paid off as well. But if you clear up the monks like this, probably the right choice.
Yeah, and if you don't get Heresy, the monks would just give so much value long term that you're kind of forced into investing into that upgrade and now try to somehow stabilize. Viper's at 160 pop, Lierey's at 190. Can Viper hold this? All he's got to do is hold.
Holding would be really nice for him, but now it's 4 relics against none. One at the top still not picked up. Liereyy expanding at the bottom as well.
Oh,
that gold
man.
could be taken away. And then holding how if you can't increase your CA numbers again?
Yeah, you can't just hold randomly when there's 4 trebs outside your door as well. They're constantly chipping away at your buildings. He's constantly losing 1-2 CA here and there, and so the mass is not looking the healthiest at the moment.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. One bombard cannon out on the field. Viper, yes, 2 Janissaries could maybe go for some behind this one. More monks being added. I think at this point, Liereyy could maybe think about not adding more monks.
Yep. Does he even know Heresy's in? He could just think he's unlucky. It's possible.
Yeah. Maybe we take a look at the next facial expression once 10 Hussars are diving for his monks.
Yeah, because you're just looking at it. Oh, big engagement by the Halbs. There's a 3-4 dead CA. Big deal when you have so little of them as well.
Conscription now can be afforded. Sold a lot of wood, but still heavy CA. Not an option here for the Viper. Loses that gold. Is at pop 150. Liereyy also not able to keep pop limit though.
Yeah, but Lierey's economy is great behind this. He's got 66 farms. He's got amazing amounts of gold, 2,000 in the bank. And he's got complete control of the middle and both sides. Viper is in trouble right now.
We have Thumbring, we have Parthian Tactics, so those CA, not bad, but still Zipa he is missing, the upgrade to get extra HP, and Viper realizes, you are too deep in my base and I'm not really getting gold anymore.
Taps the GG. It's going to be Hussars, the most created unit from both sides, but of course the backup from that Hussar comp was just better for Liereyy. The Halbs get so much value, the monks, of course, the core of the composition with the, with the trebs. I just felt like Liereyy had a bit more freedom in that late game. The Turks never really got going.
Yeah, it felt like the second castle, what did it achieve?
And then he made those 2 castles and then added town centers. So it's not like the 2 castles were locking down a position. The 2 castles were just doing nothing, and then the boom behind it was fragile.
Bombard cannons got converted, traps a bit out of position once he chased them with the Janissaries, right? How did those light cav get in again that he needs to go back? The hole there.
Yeah. I know also on both sides as well. There's just a lot of raiding from Liereyy. But as you can see, sometimes even the best in the world can't focus on everything at once, especially when going up against some other best in the world here. And that's what we're seeing. That's why we're seeing so many mistakes from both sides. It's not that they're playing bad. It's just that the other player is also forcing those mistakes. Both players are playing a very high level of Age of Empires right now.
Yeah, going to this tournament, the Viper, seed 1, seeded by the players. Liereyy, seed 3. So we're expecting great stuff from them. Viper couldn't live up to it in the group stage yet. But obviously bracket stage will continue for him either tomorrow if he loses the set or on Friday if he wins.
And I really just want to speak out as someone who's competed against Viper a lot. If you're a Viper fan out there, don't give up hope. This is the time to support him.
They never do, trust me.
Yeah, well,
they will find excuses.
No, but rather than that, he's still in the tournament. Past the group stage, there's still those playoffs, and the Viper is so deadly in those longer sets. So continue to support him. Don't feel like he can't perform all of a sudden. He still has a shot to win the whole thing, and we can't count him out. So even if the group stage isn't going as planned, he's still in a great position to carry on the tournament.
And you also mentioned in your winners interview just now that he is better in best of 7s than in best of 5s. He is better playing diverse civilizations, thinking about drafts, coming up with wild stuff that people didn't really prepare for, and therefore hopes should still be high. And now we see the map that we wanted to see between the two of them. Holds against Ethiopians, though, a bit of a surprise here in Arabia.
This is so classic. It's like one guy likes Cav and Liereyy likes the Archers. It's the perfect situation. Both players playing their comfort. It's Poles for the Viper, a civilization that needs a lot of talking about. Let's take a look at their bonuses because it operates in a weird way where you have to defend your farms, but then if you do, they pay off like crazy.
Yeah, plus 8% once you build them there. Forward basically replacing the mill. And yeah, he loves his cavalry, but he also loves his economy.
Yeah, probably more than cavalry, I would say. He loves that extra resources coming in from the farms. And then for Liereyy, Ethiopians, they get some extra resources, in fact, for free, but it's a little different. The Poles have a better long-term economy. However, in short-term power spikes, Liereyy with the Ethiopians, heavily favored because the resources come in instant, straight to the stockpile, ready to be spent. And if you find the right timing, it could be deadly.
Yeah, and especially they come in when you're really stuffed for resources, right? Because if you're playing archers, you are often lacking food. to squeeze in fletching there. Or if you reach Castle Age, most of the time you're sitting around maybe 8 farmers, and, your berries are running dry, and then it's tricky to afford those upgrades with crossbows, with Botkin as well, and then 100 food, 100 gold comes in quite handy.
Yeah, and it just makes everything so much smoother. But of course, long term, like I said, the polls will be generating more resources. So we'll take a look at the resources collected as the game goes on to really compare these two civilizations. Liereyy is going up lightning speed here. Is that Loom already?
That is Loom already. Maybe Pop 18 has the mill build up here, and it seems like he's still missing the resource again. Feels like a bit of a hiccup in the build order again.
I'm going to have to take this guy back to medium AI. we drill the builds, you get it up properly. This is the unacceptable behavior from Liereyy in a tournament here. It's just a small thing, obviously, but he's going to click up a pop later, not the end of the world. It's going to be 19 pop from Liereyy. Viper also just shy. He clicks up a 19 pop as well. A little bit of idle time from... Oh, only Liereyy. Oh, Viper goes up a pop later. Makes sense. Yeah.
And now the big question is, we think Liereyy likely without a barracks right now going to go for the archery range direction. We're expecting some archers from him, maybe some skirmishes mixed in if he faces some skirmishes from the Viper as well. Most likely he will try to keep his archer mass alive. On the other side, Viper, he has the option to go for scouts. That's what most people would go for, but I've also seen him play defensive skirmishes.
Yeah, and I think in a matchup when you're up against such a strong archer civ, going scouts might be a little bit like wishful thinking. Like, you're going to face a spear and 2 archers before you're even realizing what's going on, and that can be hard to hold as the scout player. So a defensive skirmish makes a little bit more sense, and maybe Liereyy, in response to those skirms, can try something like maybe a forward tower, maybe some scouts, put the pressure on where the skirms aren't really enough.
Not on gold here, Mr. Liereyy. Obviously, you don't need to be there. You can build 3 archers. It could be mind games where he goes scout, trying to anticipate that Viper is going skirmishes because he anticipated the archers of the Ethiopian player.
And that's exactly what he's doing. But look at that. In typical Viper fashion, his scout is waiting there, and he's going to be able to scout it as soon as he pays attention to
in 2 seconds. Extra range. Pop!
Gets the stable. Look at that. Perfectly timed, maybe. But he's going to see the stable here. There's something in Viper's base. Oh! Lierey's got the lame. What? Just like that?
And Viper is still going for the archery range. I think he could have gone for the stable. He saw it. I think even if you canceled like at 20-30%, that would have totally been fine.
Oh, this is a really big disaster for Viper.
Can he chase those down?
This is a really big disaster. This could be a really quick game. He's on the wrong unit. He's just lost 3 sheep when he wasn't expecting to. He's going to have to find those back. He's sending his scout back, taking up some time, but
it's one.
Yeah, he needs to find these.
He's continue to go to the left if he wants to get more of them back. Actually, Liereyy could be a bit more annoying here, right? But wants to pressure. Double scout, wants spearman. Viper a bit out of position, and misreads the situation a bit.
Yeah, I think Viper needs to give up the sheep at this point because he needs the scout to defend. Spearmen are nice, but sometimes the spears just get, out microed. Sometimes the enemy brings a forward spear like Lierey's doing, and the scouts can kind of get the better view with the mobility. So Viper needs his scout to defend, and he's even greeting the horse collar, which with poles makes sense, but can he afford that from here?
This is very typical GL versus AM style. Eco upgrades, no military, and getting punished by basically you and Liereyy.
Yeah, and the thing is, you get horse collar here, but then you're going to lose a Vill. Which one's going to pay off faster? And then, behind this, Liereyy is already making some archers, I believe. He's got a range down.
Uh-oh. And that woodline was exposed as well. Viper completely ignoring to wall this one off. Still has 3 spearmen, is fine. Now the forward there quite defensively. It still feels like full spearman defense. I can see it MBL plays like this, and he somehow makes it happen. What is the next step here for the Viper?
It has to be spearmen into skirmishers. The spears can deal with the scouts, skirms can deal with the archers, and it sounds better than it is, because what actually happens is usually like the scouts will bait the spear, the archers take care of the spears, and then the scout cleans up the rest. But we'll see what both players can manage here.
And Viper tries to go for the big wall's house, low HP. 2 spearmen still trying to chase it down. Double gate doesn't even happen. 1 gate down, wanted to build the farm. Not going to happen either. And that left side is still open. 4 Spearmen, and they will just chase. Liereyy shouldn't really have any losses, and those are 2 exposed villagers. Not too likely that Liereyy finds them.
Yeah, I think Liereyy needs to rush with the archers from home. I think he's waiting for 3 right now. He's also picking up Town Watch. Maybe he's scared of Viper attacking him. Liereyy is playing fully exposed, of course, so he wants to be a bit cautious, but once those archers make their way forward with fletching, his army becomes maybe 4 times as powerful.
Oh man, and Viper, he sits here, tries to see, okay, when are the archers moving out? When can I go for some defense? Right now, I'm not really sure. Why is he a villager ahead?
It's Town Watch from Liereyy that was picked up. Another 250 from Lawler the Legend. Crazy stuff right into that price pool. Huge support. Thank you so much.
Name checks out.
Yep. And now it's going to be 3 archers. And you got 5 scouts from Liereyy the Legend moving forward. Moving forward with his army. And he's going to be looking for some kills here.
Viper squeezes out fletching, Spearman, skirm defense. I think it will be fine, but as you said, you're giving up all the map control. You're not really transitioning into great units. Opponent can go for crossbow. And now Viper, he moves to the left-hand side. A bit out of position. Could be 1, 2 dead villagers. Who actually is here reasonably well, but needs to pull the villagers for now.
Skirm defense needs to be tight. The micro has to be crazy here. Ooh, Liereyy misstepped. Lost an archer.
But Scout went down in exchange, which is the only real scouting unit that the Viper has right now. Scares this one away. But without the Scout now, the big problem is that he has no idea if Liereyy is following it up with like double stable, with more upgrades, or if he's thinking about castling. But archers now, they're really close to the skirmishers.
Ooh, Viper made a lot of spears. And now the skirms are closing in on the archers. He gets a nice cleanup there. And you know what? That's actually not the worst. Keep in mind, behind this, he's got Horse Collar and he's got the pull. So if he's able to stabilize, maybe, just maybe, he can survive.
Liereyy Legend crushing in this tournament. Indeed. Thank you so much again. Just absolutely wild how the community is supporting this one. And, well, the players are delivering with crazy micro, crazy macro, with great, great games. But now, those games, they can also be short if mistakes are happening. Those villagers are out of position.
Ooh, clinical. I mean,
1 dead, and you saw how the scout went up there.
That's crazy. He baited the TC, killed the Vil for basically free, just with a little bit of fancy micro here. Viper trying his luck at a counterattack, but it's skirmishers. We can almost ignore those because they don't do that much damage to villagers.
Yeah. Basically tickling them, and well, Liereyy, he maybe could think about building a defensive tower. Actually sold 100 stone and built an outpost, so not really an option for him anymore. Scout still being annoying. 1 Spearman taking the fight. House wall behind this one. Nice move. Another Spearman arriving. Those are now really low. The Spearman could find some kills. Viper, a bit of a misclick there, and Scouts are still in. And the numbers are good still.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks like Liereyy's attention's elsewhere. He's microing up top, or probably just managing his economy to click up to the castlage. He did use the market, but I actually hate that he made 1 outpost, so he couldn't sell that other 100 stone. I hate it, but I love it, because he's making use of the Ethiopian outpost bonus.
Nice.
I don't know how many viewers knew about that, but look at that line of sight on that outpost with Town Watch. Huge on defense there.
Now Twitcher will be like, I knew.
But they actually do know. Those guys are crazy with the knowledge. I think 90% of Twitch chat knows more about the game than Liereyy, which is...
but they only know if we don't know.
True.
Right? If we misspeak once, they're like, you didn't think about the Ethiopian outpost bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And they're right there to, just get you up to speed on things. But, okay, let's take a look at the aggression here from Liereyy. He's got 5 scouts, he's got 3 archers, and he's pushing in. Viper's walling, is it going to be in time?
Quite interesting that he is ignoring this one completely. Not impossible that we see maybe 1, 2 knights that clear this one up. Low HP, villager goes down, and he gets in. 2 spearmen are not enough against those archers.
Yeah, the archer's going to clean up the spears. Micro's a little sloppy because, of course, Lierey's dealing with aggression on his base as well. Viper's forced to quick walls. He brings out the stone gates. He doesn't have that much stone in the bank, though, and it's a complete fiesta back at Lierey's base. The Vils are running. The spears and the scrims are in there.
There's a hole between those gates as well, so maybe he could go through. It's still between the tower and the town center, so don't think that's the most realistic thing. Liereyy goes back, wants to go for the crossbows later on. Viper clicks to castle age, but a solid 2.5 minute delta.
Yeah, so Liereyy now has to destabilize at home. The army is like trash units in theory, but it's annoying when there's so many of them. So Liereyy probably wants to stabilize at home, but simultaneously wants to take advantage of his faster castle. We're not going to see it though. GG is called, and it's 3-0 for Liereyy. A dominant performance from, probably one of the best players in the tournament. Really, really sharp play there.
Yeah, absolutely crazy here. Liereyy secures himself the top 2 spot. Only lost to you, Hera, and he will not play the next 2 days. He's directly seeded into the semifinals, into the best of 9 stage.
Yeah, and I want to, just mention once again, for Viper, it's not over yet. He's going to have to prove himself a couple more times. He's going to have to play the round of 6, and I believe a round earlier to that as well. He has to play 2 rounds.
We call it round of 8.
Yeah.
Right? So that's basically happening tomorrow, where the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th people face each other. Then we have the round where the 3rd and 4th people are joining. That will be Villese and TaToH.
Yeah.
Finishing with 3-2 results there. And then obviously the last 2 remaining from those 6 will face Liereyy and Hera on Saturday. Sunday, the finals at 17 UTC.
So many exciting matchups coming up. The top 8 have absolutely slayed in this tournament. I think it's been probably one of the most competitive tournaments I've ever seen in terms of gameplay. Liereyy is in the interview couch now, probably ready for the interview.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
We can both do that and then discuss the brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's head over there. Obviously, the highest level, because simply we only had top 10 players. So even like the quote-unquote weakest game was still between 2 top 10 players, and that made it so crazy. And lots of people feel like, oh, that player underperformed. Are they maybe that bad? No. They just, every single game had a top 10 player against them. Liereyy and Hera taking it away.
All right, we're here with Liereyy in the winner's interview. Liereyy, you just won 3-0 over the Viper in the group stage, and that puts you at 4-1 total result. And Nili is looking for the microphone. There it is. And that puts you at 4-1, skipping straight to the semifinals. Were you happy with your performance today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it felt pretty good. Every win feels good, but, pressure was kind of off because, like, I'm already secured in the semifinals, but still wanted to win, obviously, and test some stuff out. And, my first arena win ever, so didn't feel too bad.
And actually, the map is actually called Fortified Clearing.
I still count it as arena, honestly. I see stone walls, I call it arena. No matter if it's Arabia, Fortified Clearing, actual arena, all the same to me.
Okay. Well, Clowns would disagree with that one. We went into not arena to start this one off. Double pawn control there. How confident did you feel after you had a good start winning the left-hand side pawn?
I kind of thought that he would give it up because obviously I'm Lithuanian, so I should get up naturally a bit faster. And I played the matchup from another perspective, I think yesterday against Villese. So I kind of knew what to do, and he still managed to do a lot of damage with the mad arms, but I kind of managed to... Well, I got housed twice, but apart from that, my eco was still somewhat okay. I didn't really lose much on the idle time, so after I fixed my economy, I was in a good spot.
Yeah, me and Nili both felt like you got a ton of value from these skirms. A lot of players tend to just waste their feudal units. You kept them alive, you picked the botkin, and you got a lot of value. Is this part of your plan? Did you really want to keep those skirms alive?
I wasn't sure, actually, because I wanted to... when I reached Castle Age, I wanted to make a lead skirm as well. I already clicked it, and halfway through I decided to cancel because I saw a stable and that it wasn't making any ranged units. I still got botkin because I had quite a lot of food, so I was like, whatever.
That scales really well into the
yeah,
game, so
and obviously Dravidians don't really have too much against skirms, so I knew that skirms would come in clutch eventually.
Yeah, really good foresight there. And, we were talking a little bit about that late game transition with the relics. You felt like you were probably in a good foothold. Moving on to game 2, though. Nili, any questions here?
What's the name of the map?
Arena.
Okay, so
some version of arena.
For Fortified Arena here, and when he got up, when you weren't even up to feudal age, what was going through your head?
I thought he could be going scouts, like 1-2 scouts, because you want to make a stable anyway, and just force some mistakes or force some quick walls for me, which kind of ended up happening. But I was up to Castle Age faster, so I didn't really mind. Although it was still a bit scary because I didn't explore anything and he has a feudal scout on my face. So it's even hard to move out. So it was pretty annoying. But I knew the worst part that could happen is he gets in with a scout, so I immediately quick walled, and that's it.
And moving on to this early Imperial Age kind of mid game, did you feel like you were a little late to the Halb tech? Because you have it here, but you got a couple of bad fights earlier on. Should you have picked up that Halb a little earlier, or were you happy with the light cav raids that you got?
I like my light cav raids. The back I did quite some damage. I killed some Villese early Castle Age, which must have hurt as well. Well, the Halb upgrade, yeah, kind of came in late. I also never got any defense upgrades on my Halbs till like, I don't know, minute 50 or something. Not that I needed them in Castle Age, but...
Did you feel like you got super unlucky with the conversions there?
Against those SARs, yes.
At like minute 35, it felt like you didn't get any conversions anymore.
Like, I think he ran at me with like 5 SARs. I had like 8 monks.
Yeah.
I converted everything. I didn't get a single one.
Yeah, I felt really unlucky there.
Yeah.
But yeah, monks.
Yeah, I mean, counter units at the end of the day here. But going on to like the the later stages of Imperial Age, it did feel like you were just on the better comp. Hussar Halberdier with some monks and Shreb slow pushing feels super hard to deal with. We knew CA was the option, but he just didn't have the time to go into it. Did he make a mistake, maybe prioritizing the boom or not committing to the push? Was there something there that you thought he went wrong for him?
Not sure. I think my raids did quite a lot of damage, and since you have to move out on this map, raids will naturally be good, no matter what. Before you could just wall the sides with stone walls or palisade walls and you're fine, so I like that change a lot. But I think Ezekiel was pretty heavily damaged and always under pressure because of my raids, and also the center pressure, monks, he always has to micro, so macro isn't the easiest thing. So if he gets to see, obviously there's nothing I can do really. But that's my win condition, right? Prevent him from getting to CA, and then I'm good.
Yeah, and you got all the aggression out. He couldn't really get to heavy CA. Didn't have any chance to get to Sipahi. And then we're going to Arabia. He sees the stable. You probably didn't see his scout there.
No.
How big do you think was that you got those 3 sheep away from, or 2?
I imagine he did quite something, because obviously he's poles. I think he got 1 back after all, but still missing 2 sheep is obviously
Hera's reaction.
still pretty big, obviously, because he's poles and he's lacking food, right? He wants to get those farms out, but he also needs to defend from my army, so I believe it damaged him quite a lot, but not something I expected.
Yeah, clinical micro from you here. Just finding any damage you can. It's really impressive, and I'd like to follow up with the range. Were you a bit worried by his counterattacks, or did you feel like you had it in the bag at this point?
I need 4 skirms and 4 spears. They might kill a villager or 2, but if I attack him at the same time, like I have scouts and archers, he has spears and skirms. So who's likely to do more damage, right? So I actually liked that he went to me to counterattack.
Yeah, it ended up being slightly more favorable for you. And in the end, I don't think he even wanted to see it played out. You had Castlage like 2 minutes faster than him, and you were already at his base with crossbows. He had basically no defense for you. And he went for the early eco upgrades. He went for the civ that scales better into the mid game, but you punished him with the power spikes with Ethiopian. So well done there.
Yep.
My question will be, now that you know that you have 2 days off, waiting in the semifinals, best of 9 there on Saturday, how will your 2 days look like now? Will you prepare? Will you look through recorded games? Will you analyze your own games? How much will you analyze your upcoming opponent?
I'm definitely gonna watch the sets, my upcoming opponents. We'll see in the bracket soon, I guess, who could be my potential opponent. Definitely gonna watch the quarterfinals and the round of 10. Or round of 8, actually. Round of 8, I believe.
Round of 8 is tomorrow, indeed.
Yeah.
And this is basically the final standing. Hera and Liereyy taking the top 2 spots. Villese and TaToH saving themselves to play tomorrow. And then we have the bulk of VIPER, Vinchester, and Nicov all playing tomorrow. So trying to fight in their dream. This is the order of the matches that we will have. Doesn't need to be. I think we will just put VIPER and Vinchester late, Mr. Yo and Nicov early, and then we will see how the bracket progresses. Starting times 15 UTC over the next days. Saturday we'll start 13 UTC and finals on Sunday. We also have a crazy show match on Sunday there. Liereyy, you're already taking a very close look at. What are your thoughts?
I don't have my glasses here, so I have to. There's no other option for me. Even though it doesn't look that optimized for VIPER, I still think he's very dangerous, and he's the favorite to meet me in the semifinals, especially once the series get longer and longer, best of 7s and potentially best of 9. So I would still say he's the favorite in the bottom side. Top side could go either way, honestly. I've seen different performances from each player. On paper, I think TaToH and Yo might be slightly favored, but Nicov obviously pulled off an amazing set 2 days ago. And obviously, I think Hera is the favorite for a top bracket, and bottom side,
you,
me.
I think if there's 2 players that really impressed me this tournament, it's Nicov and Vinchester, and I think they can be crazy dark horses in that first round. I can see Nicov beating Yo, and I can see Vinchester beating VIPER. Super deadly. Vinchester went 3-2 3 times in a row in that group stage.
Imagine what if we do the best of 7.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, what, is it 3 games? And, it might go downhill. We'll see. But, he's a player that can really bring the heat. And we'll see what he has in store for us tomorrow.
And Vinchester had a lot of momentum, right? Losing 3 games and then coming back 3-2, winning today as well. So he's certainly on a massive, massive upwards trend.
Yeah, and if you compare that with Viper on the downward trend, sometimes the mental games could come in there. It's worth mentioning Viper's had some health issues. We're all feeling for him. I really hope he can recover. First of all, for him to be healthy, of course, and for him to bring his best. So all prayers to him, of course, with that. And we'll see what is in store on that bottom side tomorrow.
And you had in the top bracket TaToH, Nicov, and
Yo.
Mr. Yo. Who would you want to face?
I want to face Mr. Yo because I haven't played him yet, but I also haven't played Nicov, so that could be interesting. We'll be cheering for my teammate Nicov, of course. I think, especially after a pretty solid group stage from him, I really want to see him prove himself in that playoff stage. Wouldn't mind playing versus either of them because I honestly feel them all like at the same top level. So it's going to be a crazy series for me in the semifinals regardless, and I'm going to prepare hard for it.
I'm super excited. We will see each other tomorrow, 15 UTC, with most likely Nicov against Yo, and then followed up with Vinchester against the Viper. We will have the drafts live going on. Jordan already said that he wants to cast, so I don't know what the casters lineup are going to be. We will figure that out. Much love. We had so much support. Donations were absolutely massive today. Again, obviously 100% of all donations are going to the prize pool. Maybe we show the prize pool. We don't show that often enough. Production lets that fly in because, well, we started with way smaller numbers but got close to $12,000 donations there already, and even 9th and 10th spot are getting a pretty healthy payday. Obviously, Liereyy and Hera still flirting with more than 14,000 there, which is not unlikely there to be reached in the end. We will say goodbye. It was a lovely day. We will run some highlights now, and you can see us a bit behind the scenes as well. See you all. If you want to see any sets, any highlight on my YouTube channel, we got you covered. We have all the sets of today already uploaded, except this one that just happened, and just provide you with massive amount of highlights. Also, Viper and Terra have daily blogs there, and you can hear a bit more from them. That's it from us. See you.